We've got a juicy one next. We've got a
ooh.
we've got a juicer.
Ooh.
We've got
This is the one.
This is one of the ones.
Is
All
it?
of these have been ones. Let's be
That's
real.
true. They are all ones. That's
This one's
true.
a little near and dear to my heart.
This is the next one.
This is the next one.
That's the truth.
Boom. We are going to be watching
I'm ready for it.
Neuro versus Grimmy. Now, these guys have played on the ladder before. And they have played more than once, I'd say. Neuro did have a comment. Grimmy likes to go for some different account names, so he changes it up every now and again so people don't remember who he is, stuff like that. I get it. It's cool. Even this isn't his main account. But Neuro was excited when I told him about this, going, oh, you mean I get to know that it's Grimmy? All right, sign me up, baby. Sign me up. All right, Neuro, what map would you like? What now? If you have any guesses, Chicken Man, what's the strat?
I'm not sure here. I'm not sure. I feel like it might just be macro. Like Neuro may feel just confident enough against a quality cannon rusher like Grimmy to just go for the macro play and say, you know what, meet me in a long game. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's play it out, buddy. Let's see how your macro matches up. But there's gonna be tricks, and Neuro's gotta be ready for them. Neuro has got to be ready for that. So we'll have to see if he's brought any any sort of tricks up his own sleeve here. But he has chosen Jagannatha.
Yes, one of the largest maps.
It is quite a large map there. I think that this is the biggest of maps, if I'm not mistaken. Is it? Is it Jagannatha?
You know, I'm gonna be honest. I have absolutely no idea. Not sure at all. Map sizes are very deceiving. When it comes to like pixel size and things like airspace can make things a little more complicated.
I feel like
some
Pillars of
maps
Gold
feel
is pretty
larger.
large.
They have larger areas to walk and pathways than others. It's a little hard to quantify a size of a map.
A little bit difficult.
But it's a large map for sure.
Regardless if it's large or if it's small, Kappa, we are in another game here in the bottom left corner of the map, introduced by Chicken Man.
It is for the Greenskin clan, Grimmy.
Just like that little curveball.
Ah, that was good. You hit me with that one. I was ready for it though. Just
gotta
barely.
keep them fresh. Which would mean that in the top right corner, it is someone near and dear to my heart, someone I consider a brother. It representing clan Root. It's Neuro. Neuro going for a little cheeky play here.
A little cheeky play.
Little cheeky.
I like it a lot.
We got the extractor. We got the pool. Now, what is Grimmy doing? He does that little search there in front, and I don't think a drone can be there that fast, but I'm not sure. But this is certainly this is his ZVZ though. We've seen this now every ZVZ Gate Forge, and man, it is just a strong opening for Protoss in this situation.
Yeah, I think it is. I'm really interested in how Neuro's going to play against this because Neuro's been he's in the chat. He's been watching, taking notes in the other PVZs, so he knows it's been Gate Forge every time.
It has, yeah.
And is specifically doing this with that knowledge. Now we're seeing a quick speed. We got Lings on the way, but it's looking like this drone might want to pop down here and grab a hatchery.
I see. Absolutely there. Sometimes you can just sneak in that hatch there. Don't have to worry about it getting blocked. And that's exactly what's going to happen. Now, again, this is the 100% reason why I like the 12 rule. Because you can force the probe away, you can get your natural hatchery, and it really does not cost you all that much. Whereas the Protoss player, maybe they have to make a little bit of a rushed wall. Maybe they overreact. Maybe they have to make a cannon or two. You know, who knows here. But Grimmy, of course, familiar with playing all sorts of different strats.
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, Grimmy's just happy to go into a macro game. I think that's a good choice here. He knows speed is on the way very quickly. Even leading the Lings by that cannon to get a kill. Look at that.
Now
Safety play.
I will actually say Grimmy did not get a full scout there. All he saw was that the hatchery's delayed. He doesn't know the gas timings. He doesn't see the extractors.
Oh, that's a very good point, actually.
He doesn't see if there's a roach warren behind this. He's not 100% sure. But no matter what, Stargate is a pretty safe way to go.
Yeah, I mean, that's the classic. I think no matter what he scouts, I think he puts down Stargate, right?
I think so. Honestly.
The big difference here, actually, is if he was getting, say, Bane busted or Ling flooded, he would really want an Oracle first, right? A Void Ray is going to be probably one of the worst things you can just spend money on in that case.
Yeah, if there was suddenly a huge mass of Speedlings plus like 5 to 6 Banes behind this, but keep in mind there's no super weak point in that wall, so it would take a very, very good number of Banelings to actually peg that down. Neuro, though, going for the triple hatch play.
Yeah,
I like that.
And I love this. He said, okay, you don't have a probe out on the map. You're expanding back at home. Perfect. Macro game. And this is what I'm talking about. Neuro just wanted to get into a macro game.
And he
because
knows how to
it's
get
all
there.
about a holdout challenge. And I think the longer this game goes, the stronger Neuro is going to be over Grimmy, right?
Yep.
Grimmy, I love him. He's a cheeser, right?
He's
And
a
what are
cheeser.
cheesers? What's their weakness? Well, it's the long game, right? Neuro is an honorable macro player. He comes from the school of honorable Zerg macro.
He does.
In fact, he's a professor at that school.
He does.
And he's going to be very strong in that situation. I just want to point out, we just slightly missed it. A probe just snuck out of this base by doing the little trick to get past the
but the Ling got it.
Cybercore.
The Ling killed it just now.
That's incredible.
That is Pog Champion. Now, one thing he confirmed.
Oh, he does it again. What
Look
the
at
hell,
this, man.
dude?
He just got
He's
the
a pro.
He's got the greasiest probes. And he's gonna is he gonna lose it again? There is a cannon, there's some void rays. No, Neuro going for a little bit more safer play. He did not scout the Stargate, so he didn't see if this was any follow-up from that. Didn't see what the second unit was going to be with that Overlord. Unfortunately, loses it before he sees the follow-up tech of the Twilight as well. So very nice timed Void Ray here from Mr. Grimm. Whoop! And gets the
Probe
trade.
goes down.
Another probe goes down. And look at the queens. Look at the number of queens here. Neuro, up to 50 drones, 5 minutes in the game. That is some very decent timing. That is some very decent timing.
He's going to be up against charge lots, and I don't know if Grimmy's going to move across the map with them. Neuro's going to have to get some roaches out, but his roach warren's finishing up right now. He's got 3 spores on the way to help him with the defense against the voids, potential dark shrine. We all know that cannon rushers like to DT.
I will put something out into the air here. Is this the Poop Bandits? AKA the German Taxi.
The Poop Bandits. Well, the German Taxi is slightly different. That's a very specific it's a very specific attack. The Poop Bandits, though, that could be a little bit different. I mean, that could be that classic TLO creep spread trick.
That's true. I mean, the Taxi here, Neuro is kind of geared up for it. There's a lot of zealots coming across the map. No roaches so far. No lings,
the lack of roaches
really.
is really rough. There's a handful of lings out, I believe. These queens are a little out of position to deal with this.
Yeah, pulling the drones here. The queens trying to form back up. Charge lots, such a very solid, aggressive unit. Very cheap, very effective, very good at what they do. 8 drones going down, and there's more charge lots on the way. Missing the scout on the gateway count. Missing the scout of the Twilight.
Is going down.
Oh, this is not looking good. This is not looking good here. The roaches are trying to form back up. Oh, but the zealot count here, 15. Grimmy hitting with a very scary looking attack. Now there's a decent number of forces here from Neuro.
Yeah, I think Neuro's got enough to hold on here. Ooh, that's a lot of
I don't know, dude.
Lots,
that is so many charge lots. I am concerned.
Not a lot of transfuse on these queens either. But Grimmy decides to pull back for now.
I feel like that's almost a bit of a misplay, but maybe he's not wanting to risk it. Again, he doesn't care anymore if it goes past 10 minutes. That ship has sailed. He is now only looking for the game to end before 20 minutes. So, he could just say, you know what? I killed some drones. I killed your third. I'm going to go back. I'm going to get more zealots, force you to make even more roaches. I know you don't want to do that. And try and just keep you off of this third base as long as I can. Neuro expanding to a fourth as well. jumping right on top
He's
of this.
trying,
this
but
base here.
the charge lots are there, the void rays are there, and it gets canceled. And Neuro's stuck on 2 bases right now, not where he wants to be.
Oh, baby. I missed this. I saw the Spire in production. I didn't see where it was being produced.
It's a Poop Bandit Spire.
It's a Poop Bandit specialty. It's the Proxy Spire. Now that is a play and a half right there.
All right. So I'm gonna hit you with this.
Okay, hit
Something that I've seen as a response to this kind of play, specifically a Void Ray based play, is actually
Muta?
saving up some money and going for a bunch of Muta.
It is
But the problem is Neuro's got not a lot of money.
Yeah, I think that could be an extremely effective strategy, especially with the robotics facility follow-up here. It's a single Stargate. That means that Phoenixes are not going to be able to be slammed out of this game that easily. Now, at the same time, I would have loved that, but the eco is just not quite there. He is still ahead of Grimmy in workers, but the deficit of army here, it's just too even. It's 63 to 61. Very unfavorable for Zerg here.
Grimmy made a New Year's resolution not to go above 50 workers, so he's really trying to keep it down here.
Ooh, Observer does get sniped though by a couple of spores, but gets some valuable information. Possibly sees the lurker den, if I'm not mistaken, in the main. The cheeky zealot there actually going to take that drone out. Unfortunately, stop it from making a hatchery. Creep spread's looking good though. I mean, for what the game was here with that third base getting sniped, saved a lot of those queens. And was able to push that creep out, which I think is pivotal, especially when playing a composition like this against Protoss. You need speed.
Yeah.
You need the quickness.
The important thing is that Neuro survived that charge lot attack, and we're getting back into that macro game. A lot of Lings on the way. It's a very interesting composition Neuro has right now. It's just like Ling, Roach, Hydra. Grimmy's got a more standard looking composition. We got charge lots, immortals. The disruptors are a little interesting.
Now, I would have loved to see maybe even a Baneling nest go down against this here.
Yeah.
That would actually be pretty sick with how many zealots are in the mix here. Ooh, but 9 mutas in production.
Yeah, the muta's coming out now. We don't see any Archons just yet either, which would be fantastic here.
Well, here's the thing, right? That Spire is going to completely blindside Grimmy. He sacrificed an Observer to go into the main, but the Spire's not in the main. It's at your 4th base location, you fool!
You fool!
He's
not even expanding that direction. He's expanding all on this left corner here. So he's not going to see that for a long time. You don't go down there for nothing, dude.
The mutas are out. Warp Prism goes into the main here. It's going to come down to this next kind of attack. The mutas are going to have to start getting into the mix. I'm a little worried about this.
The counterattack while Neuro's trying to hold with his ground force, it seems.
I almost would have liked to see the mutas come back home, but there are lurkers with this, which Grimmy did say out loud, and by out loud in Twitch chat, that lurkers are cheating.
My God,
but there's
look
so many
at this defense against the mutas. Neuro's not paying attention.
Yeah. That is an unfortunate situation there for Neuro to run into. I really thought that the Stalkers were going to, the mutas rather, were going to maybe be able to do a little bit more in this situation.
Man, but they're just all going to fall. Those mutas getting absolutely nothing done.
That was a big investment for not a whole lot of payoff here. It's going to come down to his ground army. There is a fairly significant one, though, guys. I mean, not a whole lot of lurkers, unfortunately, but there's no Observer with Grimmy's army here. Neuro going to try to press the advantage. There's 2 disruptors. He's got to be careful. He has got to be careful against this. A couple of shots and boom, boom, boom. That's it. Your army is dead.
Neuro's been splitting very, very well against the Disruptor Nova so far, though, keeping his lurkers alive. There is a warp in the main base. Looks like a few zealots getting up there.
Ugh.
And just wreaking some havoc, forcing Neuro to pull back, which gives Grimmy maybe an opportunity down on the low ground to push back in.
Yep, and it looks like Grimmy is starting to transition to go for that bit of a even like late mid to late game here. Puts down the fleet beacon, another Stargate. Now already a Spire on the map here, but I don't know if Grimmy still doesn't know where it is. So Corruptor transition possible. The upgrades here from Neuro looking pretty solid, all things considered, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And a little Roach counterattack actually just morphs those Archons, so they'll be available here in just a bit. The Roaches, though, kind of dead supply at this point. This is getting to that part of the game where you don't really want roaches in your army. You kind of want to just try to get whatever value you can out of them. Start transitioning to that Hydra Lurker composition.
Yeah, and this is keeping Grimmy off of Neuro's neck, right? It gives him a little bit of breathing space. He can start maybe spreading creep again.
Yeah.
Back out towards that 4th base. He's got a new 4th in the upper left. This is just creating space for Neuro to get his upgrades going and make sure. He really needs to get a scout on the fact that this is transitioning into air. We have 2 carriers and +1 ship weapons on the way for our Protoss player right now. And it should be expected at this point, but Neuro definitely needs to know that's what he's up against.
Yeah, it's definitely a possibility. Carriers on the way. I will point out, though, Neuro now taking the #1 spot, passing Quoo, that 13:02 time.
Yeah.
Was looking a little dicey there in the early game from that Zealot attack, but he has managed to come back. And
we got Lings crashing into the main base of Grimmy right now.
Nice.
Looks like a Zealot warp in might clean them up. The carriers are about to pop too, but causing some havoc. Neuro finally getting some offensive damage done, it feels like.
Neuro is not out of this game quite yet, you guys. I mean, depending on how he can play with these lurkers here, he might be able to buy enough time. No overseers, though, which means that this observer is just going to be able to sit tight and just be able to scout that. I can't tell you the number of games I play, and there's just an observer that's been over my natural literally the entire game.
Every Terran just bonded with you in a way you didn't think was possible.
Yeah. Oh, forgetting about that, those disruptors there for a second. Get some good damage done. Looks like there is a counterattack going across the map in the way of Muta's going to find those zealots, actually, and try to get some damage done to them.
When your counterattack finds their counterattack, it's an awkward moment here.
Situation. Yes. Awkward
Grimmy
situation.
repositioning, though, and Neuro not repositioning his lurkers for this. He needs to get over here to defend his natural. All right, looks like he'll be in position in time.
Now, we do have the seismic spines. Oh, that was a nasty hit. So he's got lurker range and lurker burrow speed here, but again, unfortunately, Neuro is still prepping for a composition that is not overly favored against carriers. Carriers just kind of chilling. And once he bleeds out everything he can from this Stalker, Disruptor, Archon army, that's when I think the carriers are going to start moving across the map. You've got to have very, very specific units to deal with that. Viper is very helpful, though. Hydra is also quite helpful.
Yeah, Hydras are going to be really good here. That we have some spores still out on the map, but you're right. It just doesn't feel like there's enough anti-air here, and Grimmy's starting to push in with just this ground force. The Disruptor Nova is connecting beautifully. It's starting to feel like Neuro might not have enough here.
I'm thinking he does not, in fact. I mean, he's going to try to push. Gets a yoink there. Gets a Stalker and an Archon. But there are some other meat and potatoes of this army. Oh, it is just looking like an unfortunate
grabs
situation.
One of the carriers. Right? That is absolutely massive. We have a lot of High Templar warping in, but we're not having any round for Storm or Feedback, which I feel are much more important spells for Grimmy to use right now. The Feedback against the Vipers is going to be one of the best things he could possibly use.
Yeah, that's gonna do a lot of damage against a full energy Viper, of course. But this is just an entrenched situation here for Grimmy. I mean, he is throwing down a base here. He's kind of expanding to the north, a very interesting expansion pattern, we say. But yeah, this might go to 20 minutes, which is kind of a
We're getting
deal.
Very close now. It's going to be very difficult for either player to break through this. Grimmy, it looks like he's going to push right on into this. Is there enough here for Neuro to hold on? These Hydras in the back not doing anything for such a long time. But he's got a lot of DPS, and the carriers are running low on interceptors. Grimmy is forced to pull back. I really feel like the lack of Storm is killing him here. It's being researched, but I feel like that might have been a mistake earlier on.
Yeah, possibly a forgotten Storm. I think the carriers are definitely a good way to go. That's sort of the knee-jerk response, right, for Protoss. They see lurkers. They go, okay, it's time to go for my carrier transition. They throw down the Fleet Beacon. They throw down another Stargate or two, and they just start cranking those bad boys out. It's a really, really solid tactic here. Now, Neuro has unfortunately not been able to expand past 4 bases. Very surprised right now that he's been able to hold on to that 4th base at all. But one thing about this army composition for Grimmy here, it is not very fast at killing structures. I mean, yeah, they're carriers, but they're slow as heck. So if he does have to force out all of the buildings here from Neuro, I think there's a lot of potential to hold on and take this game quite a bit longer.
Yeah, it's a very good point, and we're starting to get to that point where Neuro might have to think, how do I hold on as long as possible?
Yeah. Although, you know what? Knowing Neuro, not to say he is or isn't going to do this, I would not be surprised if when he finds the GG moment, he just taps out. Because that's just kind of the type of player that he is, you know? He's sure playing a game
me too much. A lot of the lurkers have gone down. There are still some on the left-hand side, but they might get taken out. They're separated from the Hydras. Yeah. The Hydras out here on their own. Carrier's starting to rebuild some interceptors. And it feels like Neuro's on his last legs. He's down about 50 supply, trying to remake some Hydras, but his fourth base is going to go down here.
Yeah, that's just all she wrote for that one. Now, what I love, though, I will say about this position here for Neuro, there's still that proxy spire in the bottom right corner of the map, dude. Like, it literally hasn't been scouted this entire time. So, I mean, if it does come down to, hey, we need to kill all the buildings kind of situation, there is no doubt in my mind this is going to the 20-minute mark. But Neuro is not out yet. Like, we're talking like he's out of this game. Never count someone out until it's truly done, okay?
You know, it's not over till it's over. But if this was not a holdout challenge, I think it would be over.
I mean, it's looking bad.
The fights have been going decently well for Neuro, but he's still trading inefficiently against somebody who's been mining more than him for quite a while now. And those two things together is not good. We're seeing drones run across the map. I think it's about that time.
He's about 9K in the hole. Yeah.
Yeah, he's just thinking, how can I possibly stay in this game as long as possible?
Now, he can't make a hatchery. That's the unfortunate part. His drones are going back home, though. Maybe a little bit of a whoops-a-daisy.
Yeah, well, I mean, if they can't make a hatchery, then I don't know what they're doing out there. I think that proxy spire is going to be the last building in the game.
They could make some extractors, you know, force out another couple seconds. That is it, though. 20 minutes on the dot right now. That means that Grimmy has been reduced down to Tier 3 as far as his payout goes, adding in $30 total to the winner's bracket. So while Grimmy has put on a fierce show and played extremely well, it looks like fairly evenly matched here against a fierce competitor. I think both players playing this game very, very, very closely.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it was played out. A really very solid game. This is our closest to a normal game that I think we're going to get all day today.
Yeah, I think you're right.
We'll see. We'll see if that's true, but this looked like a very, I want to say almost just a standard game. A little bit weird, maybe.
I love the two Vipers next to the Spire. That's my favorite. Two Vipers chilling. They're ready to go. Behold. My stuff. And at this point, yep, Grimmy A clicks the bottom right corner of the map. I think that's some stalkers coming in.
He's gonna yoink.
He's gonna try to yoink him over. Come on, baby. Get him into the water.
Blinding cloud.
Oh, dude. The IQ 2000. Oh my god, it's the blinding cloud. Getting every last second that he can. The second blinding cloud goes down. Oh my goodness. And a true sport to the end of the game. Oh my god, it's the dance.
Oh, the dancing stalker.
It's the dance. GG. Grimmy wiping off some sweat from his brow there at the end. Hits him with the stalker dance. Definitely missed exactly what time that was. It was like 21 something. Maybe Kata can get that for us. But man.
It's 21:33.
21:33. Thank God someone's paying attention to this. Very well played, though. What are you still doing here? The video is done, man. It's over. It's done. I mean, go home. You know, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, but we're finished here. I mean, maybe I'll post another one in a couple days or something, but I mean, it's not going to do you any good waiting around here. Go on.